Final Cat. Shout out to Culture Spirit. Most importantly, shout out to y'all for tapping in. This video is how Rihanna really destroyed Teairra Mary's career. And correct me if I'm wrong, ain't that the girl who owed 50 Cent money, I think, or something like that? But we ain't gonna talk too much. We're gonna get straight into the video.
About some of the artists, Teairra Marie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Teairra Marie.
and she's
Yeah,
the first
okay.
lady of the rock.
She's the princess.
Beyonce just gave me one of those looks, and he said, that Rihanna girl, she's a beast. And she looked away, right? And I was like, so I did a Rihanna double take.
Rihanna might be one of the biggest stars of our
Bad guy like
generation,
Riri.
but what many people don't know is that she was never meant to be so famous. And the only reason she found success is that she pretty much came for the success of another singer, a girl named Teairra Marie. But why was Rihanna so desperate to be famous? Did Beyonce really help Rihanna to sabotage Teairra's career? And does
Who knows?
Teairra really hold a grudge after all these years? Many people will recognize Teairra from her time on Love and Hip Hop New York and Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. But the truth is that she was supposed to have the career that Rihanna does today. Before Rihanna got signed to Def Jam Records, Teairra was the golden girl of the label, and the label execs were more than willing to pour money into her and build her career. At the time, Jay-Z was president of Def Jam, and he had so much faith in Teairra that he often referred to her as the princess of the label.
Talk about some of the artists, Teairra Marie.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's the first lady of the rock.
She's the princess.
Even when Rihanna joined the label in 2005, she didn't pose a serious threat to Teairra, even though she already had her song, Ponder Replay, lined up to be released later that year. The label execs, especially L.A. Reid, still had more faith in Teairra's potential to be a superstar and gave her more priority than Rihanna. The label put more money into Teairra, especially because she already had a hit song titled Make Her Feel Good. Even though more than 15 years have passed since these events, a lot of people still find it weird that the label was giving priority to one girl over the other when they had more than enough money, power, and influence to push both girls equally and at the same time. But that didn't happen, and Teairra continued to reign as the princess of the label. One of the occasions where it was clear that Teairra was the it girl of the label was at the 2005 World Music Awards, where she teamed up with Rihanna and another singer named A. Marie to perform their cover of the song Lose My Breath by Destiny's Child. Teairra took the lead part that was originally sung by Beyonce, and this clearly sent a message across that she was the favorite. Life was good for Teairra, and she was already on what looked like a solid path to achieving her dreams of being a superstar, even though she was only 17 at the time. But then things suddenly changed, and a series of crazy events took place that saw her go from being one of the most promising young stars to losing it all. It all started during the Def Jam show.
I never really heard of her until the whole funny 50 Cent situation. Y'all recommend me some songs by her to listen to. And no, I don't react to music.
Showcase where she and Rihanna performed. She was still the label's favorite, but one statement changed the trajectory of her career and, by extension, her entire life. Beyonce was dating Jay-Z at the time, so she was present at the showcase. After the event ended, she went up to L.A. Reid and told him to pay a little bit more attention to Rihanna.
We had a showcase, and at the showcase there were two artists performing. Her name is Teairra Marie. She's a really sweet girl, and the truth is I was paying a little more attention to her than I was to Rihanna. After the showcase, you know, Beyonce just gave me one of those looks, and he said, that Rihanna girl, she's a beast. And she looked away, right? And I was like, so I did a Rihanna double take.
L.A. Reid himself admitted that he hadn't really been seeing Rihanna in that light until then, but that one statement from Beyonce changed everything, and he began to realize Rihanna's star power. Over the years, people believe that Beyonce might have been influenced by the fact that Rihanna was Jay-Z's artist, and she made that statement to give Rihanna a boost because Beyonce was already a big name in the industry. For those who don't know, Jay-Z was the one who signed Rihanna to Def Jam because he was blown away by her on their first meeting. So people feel like the main reason Beyonce made that statement in the first place was to give Rihanna a boost. Well, Beyonce's plan clearly worked because LA Reid and the label in general started paying more attention to Rihanna than they had ever done before. Teairra was still their #1 choice, but now they had a backup in Rihanna. But things got worse for Teairra when the label started putting pressure on her to act a certain way that she was not comfortable with. They wanted the good girl gone bad vibe from her, but she was not comfortable with that, especially because she was only a teenager at the time and hadn't even graduated high school yet. People have pointed out something interesting, and that's the fact that the bad girl vibe is exactly what we got to see from Rihanna after her debut album, Music of the Sun. She even named her third album Good Girl Gone Bad. And this is why there are people who believe that Rihanna stole what should have been Teairra's career. Things continued to get worse for Teairra at Def Jam after the release of her debut album. Rockefeller Records presents Teairra Marie. Because she already had a hit with Make Her Feel Good, there were high expectations about the album, and the label expected it to be a major hit. But the first week's sales were kind of disappointing to the label because it only sold 69,000 copies. And even though this was a decent number for a new artist, the label was after something more than decent. The album also had decent charting because it peaked at #5 on the Billboard 200 and #2 on the Billboard Top R&B and Hip Hop Albums chart. But once again, the label was after something better than decent numbers, and they came to the decision to drop Teairra because of low album sales. According to Teairra, she was told that she was being dropped over a phone call, and even worse, she got the call while she was preparing for prom night.
You know, what happened was I got dropped from Rockefeller on my prom day. You know, they didn't know. Getting ready for the prom? Yeah, honey, getting ready. I was putting lotion on my legs, got a phone call, ring, ring. Hey, yeah, we're gonna be letting you go. I was like, oh.
Now, there's another interesting detail here that pretty much convinced everyone that the label had switched sides from Teairra to Rihanna, and they were now being unfair to Teairra. When Rihanna released her debut album, Music of the Sun, it sold almost the exact same amount as Teairra's album, also selling 69,000 copies in the first week. Now, Teairra's low sales were the reason the label gave her for dropping her, but Rihanna sold the same amount but was somehow able to keep her spot on the label. This was fishy to a lot of people, and there were a lot of conversations around this with someone commenting, Rihanna's debut was lackluster, and I never imagined her to be such the force she is today, especially since Teairra debuted higher than she did, and they told her it wasn't enough and booted her, yet gave Riri another shot. Getting dropped by the label was pretty much the beginning of the end for Teairra, because she never really found much success after that. She signed to Interscope Records, and even though she released a couple of projects, none of them were strong enough to make her a mainstream artist. That's when she decided to join the cast of Love and Hip Hop in hopes of reigniting her career. But that turned out to be a wrong move because she was not exactly portrayed in a good light. She had previously dated singer Ray J, and she was bitter over the breakup, which caused her to get into lots of fights with Ray J and his new woman, Princess Love. Teairra was known more for her fights and controversies on Love and Hip Hop than for her singing career. And this was pretty much the end of her music career because she was so controversial that no music exec wanted to even touch her. Just when the world thought that things possibly couldn't get any worse for her, she developed a drinking problem that made things even worse. Her behavior got more and more erratic until an intervention was staged for her by some people involved in the show. She later came out to admit that even though she was grateful for the intervention, she didn't like the fact that it was filmed because she felt like her drinking problem was used as a plot line for the show.
So I felt like some people may have been doing it for a little camera time, you know, for that check.
Yes.
And so that's how I felt about it. But at the end of the day, going to rehab was one of the best things that I could have ever done for myself.
But even though rehab worked for her, it wasn't permanent because she soon developed a drinking problem all over again.
Damn, as soon as I was just about to say a whole little speech and give you a congratulations.
In 2019, this time, she was arrested in New York for a DUI. Luckily, she was able to avoid jail time and only got her license suspended. It's crazy how different her life could have been if only Rihanna hadn't come on the scene. Teairra's career was ruined. She lost the life she was on track for, and Rihanna got it instead. Rihanna has been dragged so many times over the years for stealing Teairra's career, with people leaving comments like, "It makes me sick to my stomach that Rihanna stole Teairra Marie's spot. I love Teairra Marie and she can sing. Too bad talentless Rihanna stole her spot. I wonder how angry Teairra Marie is that Rihanna stole her life." But according to Teairra herself, there's no beef between her and Rihanna because she's moved on and isn't holding any grudges.
No, there's no beef, and I don't think that any of my fans should feel any sort of negative way towards Rihanna because she has nothing to do with my situation.
So, is Teairra's career really over, or is she going to somehow try to make a comeback after 17 years? Well, sources claim that she has no plans to search for employment outside the entertainment industry. So it looks like she is never going to give up on her dreams of being a superstar. But while you're here, you should check out this other video.
Man, shout out to you. That being said, let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. Honestly, it would have been crazy if Rihanna didn't make it far because I remember all the songs she started out with. But appreciate y'all for the love and support. We're gonna keep going crazy. 10, 11 videos a day, Monday through Friday. Like I said, I'd do way more if it didn't take so long in the process. But like I said, once again, I appreciate y'all for the love and support. Love is love, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.